mean, Podziemski, right? I think Podziemski's more desired than Moody. Would we all agree, open market-wise?
I don't know.
Maybe I'm overrating Pods.
I don't know. I don't know what the market dictates here. But by the way, got some breaking news here.
Oh.
Festus Ezeli, who is going to join us on the River Islands guest line, is taking off right now. His flight left early. Wheels up. So no Fezzy Fell on the River Islands guest line. Still time for you to discover the islands, though. River Islands and Thankthorpe. Go discover the islands.
Let's just do this quick. Open market, every team around the league, if we were ranking them, Kuminga, of the four young guys, Kuminga, Moody, Pods, TJD, it goes value-wise. Most teams covet Kuminga the most?
I would think so.
You think so? Okay.
I would think so.
Who's two?
I don't know who two is.
See, I think it would probably. I think Pods. I think more teams would like Pods than we're.
This league is guard heavy. It's very guard heavy.
That's true.
Some teams feel like and that's not diminishing Pods at all. But Moody does have size
for the Utah market. Pods?
Pods?
Utah market?
Utah eats up everything, man. They love. Utah loves their jazz.
Did you hear Brad Stevens? He basically admitted that, we kind of know that the Boston crowd needs multiple white guys off there. No, he was dead serious, and he was like, that's why Hauser and Pritchard, know
they drafted a guy from Creighton, the white guy who could shoot it. He's good. What is his name? He could shoot it. No, I get
Kyle
it.
Korver?
No, not Kyle Korver.
I'll never live that down. Never.
You said it. Kyle Korver never averaged more than 12.8. But he also said Max Strus, and I was looking at Max Strus. When you said Max Strus, he had a stretch of 3 scoreless games.
Clay's making $1.5 million more than Max Strus this year.
That's fine. How much did Max Strus get?
He got, I think, 3 for 15 each.
Did Cleveland pay Max Strus $45 million?
I know he got 15 per. Yeah.
That's a big time overpay. Oh, that's a big time overpay for Cleveland. Have fun with that, Kenny Atkinson. Moses Moody is 6'5". Moses Moody 6'5", 211.
What's that?
He can guard multiple spots. Moses Moody. He's 6'5", 211. He can hit the three. Right now, his shot is a lot better than Podziemski's. I don't know how much the league values Podziemski or Moody. I can't answer that.
So my feeling is Kuminga, Pods, I think Trace Jackson Davis, then Moody. I just think Moody right now is the depreciated player of the four. I think a lot of people are like, oh, why weren't the Warriors using him? It's not like they couldn't have used a two guard the last couple of years. So I believe Pods, I would say right now, Kuminga 1, Pods 2 for me, TJD 3, then Moody. That's how I would rank them, but I don't know how Danny Ainge is ranking him because I bet it has something to do with his roster.
Well, Danny Ainge wants the picks.
Well, that too.
Wants the picks. James on the Richmond Bridge. James, what's happening?
Yeah, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me on the show. I just want to say real quick that I thought the disrespect to Clay from the Warriors executives was crazy. It's a disgrace. If you're Lacob, you got to take care of the people who brought you here, and the Warriors were nothing before Steph and Clay came, and he's got to recognize that and get over his ego, and he didn't. And Melton and Anderson are making a combined $21 million this year, and you're telling me they couldn't have brought back Clay? I think the CBA is a factor, but listening to the show over the last couple of days, I've heard a lot of blame on the CBA, and I just don't agree with that. And I know that Clay had a part in leaving too, but I know that he originally wanted to come back to the Warriors, and I think if they just could have got over themselves and given him a third year and just a little bit of money, $21 million, he's making $16 million this year, and they couldn't get that done.
But now, forget all that right now, James. How do you feel about Clay just basically saying, I just want a chance to win a 5th championship, and Dallas gives me that best chance?
I get that, but let's be realistic here. Dallas isn't going to win another championship, and look at where the Warriors are going to go. Even if they get Markkanen, where does that get them? They're not going to win a championship if Markkanen is their best player. A year ago, Clay would have much rather finished his career with the Warriors. He said it multiple times. He wanted Kerr to be his final head coach. And he didn't stay. Why? Because the Warriors done Levy Lacob. They weren't comfortable giving him 3 years. And that's crazy considering everything that this man did for the Dubs. And I just think that disrespect was crazy. And I think that's got to be recognized a little bit more.
James, a lot of people feel like you, James. A lot of people feel like you. But I understand both sides of the equation here. I understand it. And you know what? I believe moving forward, it's best for both parties to have this separation. Clay's going to find his basketball piece. He's going to find his basketball piece because Draymond Green, look, man, he basically said yesterday, I don't know if we have that sound, where he said Clay was unhappy last year. He didn't have any joy playing basketball, and he saw it firsthand. And Draymond mentioned yesterday on his podcast, Draymond Green Show, he wants what's best for Klay Thompson.
Like I said, I do know the joy that basketball brings him, and like it brought sadness, it brought unhappiness last year for him. And again, if you ever care about someone's well-being, go through the struggle with somebody and you only care, your number one goal for that person is to see them happy and enjoying what they do because you care about their well-being, then like a part of me wanted Klay to leave, and not wanted him to leave in the sense of like want him to leave, but want him to leave because you only want to see him be the guy that you know he is.
That's Draymond Green on the Draymond Green Show.
I just have a hard time listening to Draymond Green right now.
Why is that?
I'm fatigued. I'm exhausted by him.
Are you?
I am, and I kind of have been. I don't need him talking about someone else's happiness when he's made Warrior fans miserable by getting suspended for a gazillion games and punching a teammate a year ago and then, lying about the Memphis Grizzlies offering him money and how he called everybody. And I'm just exhausted by Draymond. I mean, God, he's exhausting.
He called me on the phone. She's like, stop. And she's like, I'm about to cry. And she said it reminded her of last year. So last year during free agency, I called Klay and I called Steph, separate calls, and Steve, and I was just telling them like, yo, I'm leaving. I'm going to Memphis. And I remember that call with them. So I was going to leave. And she said we were in Paris. And she's like, it's reminding me of when we were in Paris and you was calling them. Like she was just sitting there crying. And obviously we got it figured out. Shout out to the Lakers and Mike Dunleavy, his first free agency. We got it done.
You guys believe that?
Well, here's my question. So he was in Paris and he assumed he was gone. I thought he drove to the owner's house.
We did later and sign a deal, maybe. I don't know. Do we have that Laker sound?
So he's negotiating during the tampering window in another country. The whole thing, I just have to... Memphis, really? We thought he was going to Memphis?
No, he said
after what he's done to Memphis?
I don't know if he was going to Memphis, but he said he was going to Memphis. Let's go to Jonathan in Foster City. Jonathan, what's happening? You're on the roast.
All right. First of all, Shasky, R.I.P. to the peanut M&Ms. They are the GOAT. I'm sorry for your loss. I do. Secondly, the Clay thing hurts. But just like anyone, sometimes you got to part ways with your employer. Like you don't see eye to eye anymore, and Lacob's getting a little involved. That said, I think our roster is better with these additions, but they're secondary moves. Right? These are pieces you add generally when you are going for a chip because you got the squad. We're going about it a little backwards, but that brings me to my point of the call, which is we are talking about Lauri Bird. Lauri Bird. He's essentially a 50, 40, 90, 7-footer, can think, can play on the fly in our offense. This is an opportunity to add a young guy who can contribute right away into Steph's final years. This is Lauri Bird.
Okay.
Lauri Bird.
How old are you?
I'm 43.
Okay, you watched Larry Bird like we did. Like,
No, hold on. Let him cook. Why are you comparing? I want to hear this.
Can we meet in the middle?
Let him cook. It's his time. He called us. He took the time to call us. Hold on. Let Jonathan in Foster City cook.
Listen, before Mike, Larry was my favorite player. Unathletic white guy fits my profile perfectly. All fakes better than my favorite.
I respect it.
Secondly, I went to University of Arizona, so am I a little biased on Lauri Bird?
Oh, you're a Wildcat. You're a Wildcat. I like that.
You know what? I respect it.
Lauri Bird is going to be a Warrior.
So let me. Oh man, I was going to ask him
one more time.
Lauri Bird. I wonder. Damn, I wanted to get his thoughts on what he wanted to give up for Lauri. Jason in Philly. Jason, Philadelphia. You know we don't like Philadelphia, Jason. You know that, right?
I understand, longtime Warriors fan, but I love the city of Philadelphia.
I hear you. I'm going back. I'll be there in late August.
Nice. Prepare for the heat.
Oh, I know. I've been out there with the heat. Oh, yeah, I've been out there before. Yeah. When the power goes out, it's 100% humidity. There's no power in it. I was out there when Nnamdi Asomugha signed with the Philadelphia Eagles.
I've heard this one 15
100 pitch. Well, how many stories you tell?
Love it. No, I love it.
The power was out. It was miserable out there. But go ahead, Jason.
Hey, guys, thanks for having me. I just wanted to touch on this. I've been listening.
Go ahead, Jason.
I've been listening for a while, and I think we're really missing the mark on Jonathan Kuminga. I think he's a great player. He's going to be really good for a long time, but historically in this league, you don't win without a top 10 guy. And JK, I don't think anyone projects him to be a top 10 player in the league. And right now we have that with Steph Curry. We have an all-time top 10 player in Steph Curry. So it's criminal to hold on to JK and not support a top 10 player that we have now. I don't think the Warriors will ever be the favorites again, just based on the age of Curry and the amount of money that we have to pay our top stars. But the idea is to make sure that we're competitive. So if you give them a puncher's chance, no matter what, it's great. And if you lose JK, no problem, because you can always find another great player, but you can't always find another top 10 player. And that's my position on it.
There you go. I respect that position. Can JK help? Or are you willing to deal him? Is Lauri Markkanen not much better than Jonathan Kuminga? Again, the Warriors, according to Ramona Shelburne, the Warriors were not trying to trade Jonathan Kuminga to the LA Clippers. But in Kawakambi's story in The Athletic Saturday, Kuminga, Wiggins, they're all part of some combination.
So using that logic, and I know there's different forms of leverage here, so that does factor in. If you're unwilling to move for Paul George, Jonathan Kuminga, why would you be willing to move for Lauri Markkanen? I think most people think Paul George is better than Lauri Markkanen, or am I misreading that?
That Paul George is better than Lauri Markkanen? Yes. People think Paul George is better than Lauri Markkanen. So a lot better.
If you're not including him in that deal, why does he have to be in? Do you get what I'm saying? I'm trying to follow this.
Yeah. But Danny Ainge, that's why. Every team thinks differently.
Yeah.
Every team values players differently. Some teams may value Kuminga. Wow, this guy's a great asset. Some may say, you know what? We don't want to touch Kuminga. So, it's funny with Kuminga because a lot of Warrior fans, especially online, will say that you could have got him, you could have traded him for Siakam. Maybe that was the case a couple of years ago. But from what my sources was telling me around the deadline last year is that Masai Ujiri, who runs the Toronto Raptors, was saying to himself, I'm not that high on Kuminga. You're going to have to blow me away for Siakam. You're going to have to give up everything. And that wasn't feasible. And it's like Pascal Siakam, for example. If he's your number 2 player on the team, are you going to a championship? Are you going to win a championship?
The Pascal?
Yeah, Pascal Siakam.
I mean, I think going back to your Celtic, where there were a couple of nights where he was the second best player on the floor alongside Kawhi Leonard, but that team totality was very deep.
Exactly.
I mean, they had Serge and Lauri. Lauri had a phenomenal playoffs that year compared to all his other ones. And Norm your boy, come on.
Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet,
and Norman Powell, and a lot of guys. But Gasol played really well. But I think at times but he also disappeared after a couple games.
There you go. So I'm kind of glad. And from Toronto's standpoint, they had just traded OG Anunoby for RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley. You already had Scotty Barnes. Where does JK or Wiggins fit in that equation? Feels like it would have been a little bit redundant at those spots for